Hi all, in this class we can see the distance properties of convolutional code. The performance of a convolutional code depends on the decoding algorithm and the distance properties of the code. So, the convolutional code performance is always depend upon the decoding algorithm, whether it is Viterbi, whether it is sequential or any other decoding algorithm, and the distance properties of the code. So, the most important distance measure for convolutional code is the minimum free distance, and it is represented as d free. So we can see what is d free. That is the minimum free distance is the most important measure of a convolutional code, and it is defined as the minimum of distance of between two code words. If you have two code words corresponding to the information sequence u dash and u double dash, that means we have a two code words, that is v dash and v double dash correspond to two message sequence u dash and u double dash. It is assumed that if u dash and u double dash are of different length, then we are append zeros to make them same length. Hence, d free is the minimum distance between any two code words in the code. So, if you have two code words, then we correspond to two different messages, then the distance between that two code words, what is the minimum distance between any two code words in a set of code words, that is called d free or the minimum free distance, and that is the most important measure of a convolutional code. Then we can see that a convolutional code is a linear code. So we can see that the minimum distance is minimum of weight of v dash plus v double dash, and in that u dash is not equal to u double dash. That means v dash depends on u dash and v double dash depend on u double dash. That means u dash and u double dash are not equal. So we have entirely different two code words are there. Then the minimum distance between them is called as d free or minimum free distance. We can also define that the weight of that two code word is also minimum weight of that two code word is also called as d free. So the minimum weight we can represent as minimum of the weight of v dash plus v double dash, that means weight of v. That means this message is not equal to non-zero messages, we are considering the minimum weight. Then this v we can replace as u into g. So minimum of weight of ug, where u is not equal to 0, is also defined as minimum free distance d free. So we can see that where v is the code word corresponding to the information sequence u, hence d free is the minimum weight code word of any length produced by a non-zero information sequence. Also, it is the minimum weight of all path in the state diagram. So, if you are considering a state diagram, then what does the minimum free distance means? Minimum weight of all path in the state diagram that diverges from and re-emerges with all zero states. So, for a state diagram, we can define this minimum free distance as minimum weight of all path in the state diagram in such a way that it will diverge from and re-emerge within the all zero state S0. So what are the branches emerging from S0 and what are the branches re-emerge with S0? That minimum weight of all path, that is called as what? Minimum free distance, and it is the lowest power of x in the code generating function t of x. So if you are considering a code generating function t of x, then that is the lowest power of x. So the minimum free distance d free of a convolutional code is defined as the minimum harming distance between any two code words in the code, or we can say that a convolutional code with free distance d free can correct t errors if and only if d free is greater than 2t. So if d free is greater than 2t, then it can correct t errors. If the errors are more than above condition, then Viterbi algorithm will break down in its operation, resulting same harming distance for many number of paths. So if this condition, the error are more than above condition, then Viterbi algorithm fails, will break down in its operation, resulting same harming distance for many number of paths. So this minimum harming distance between any two code words in the code is called as free distance, meaning free distance d free.